It's quite feasible that at least one of these babies will grow up to be homosexual.
What would your life have been like if you were born in a different time? Two people, generations apart, will watch stories that capture queer life in the past.
That's my life you're watching there.
And present.
I like girls!
This is OK Boomer, OK Zoomer.
I'm Lauren Elloise. I am a lesbian and I've been making YouTube videos for the past 8 years on my experience being gay, my relationship. In this video, we're going to explore 10 signs that you might be lesbian and also giving advice to younger people.
My name's Julie McCrossin and I turned 70 this year, which feels big. And I first realised I was a lesbian when I was about 13, and it was a couple of decades before homosexuality was decriminalised. So I'm a sort of an ageing activist and who started demonstrating in about 74 in a thing called Gay Liberation and then the first Mardi Gras and all the rest. Yeah. But lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Back in 1970, when Julie McCrossin was just a teenager, lesbians were the topic of scientific debate.
Kinsey first formulated the notion that some people learn to be better heterosexuals than others, and that for some unknown reason girls do much better at it than boys. In a sample group like this, for instance, there'll tend to be fewer homosexuals among the girls than in a group of boys the same size. It's probably because lesbianism is relatively inconspicuous that a lot of people still find it difficult to believe that it really does exist. This is how the figures work out for 100 girls. 80 out of the 100 will be entirely heterosexual. The other 20 will probably be involved in some kind of lesbian experience during the course of their lives. However, of that 20, 15 may simply display only vague homosexual tendencies without ever actually taking part in a lesbian act. Of the remaining 5, 1 would be capable of lesbianism only under extreme circumstances. 2 would be bisexual in varying degrees. 1 would be lesbian, but capable of limited heterosexual feelings. And only 1 in 100 would be exclusively homosexual.
Well, I certainly would be the one left standing there who was exclusively lesbian.
Yeah.
But how do you react to something like that? It must seem so old.
My immediate reaction is, yeah, where are these stats coming from? I don't know, it's like a bit cringy because it is so old, like the footage.
That's exactly what I looked like when I went to high school, just so you know. Because I was alive back when that was made. I did watch that program, This Day Tonight, was one of the first news and current affairs programs on the ABC.
And did you saw that?
I have seen that before, yes. Yeah. But it's that tone of us being objectified and analysed a little bit like a virus that I find a bit offensive.
Yes.
Even though at the time any mention of homosexuality, lesbianism was a positive because there was this terrible silence. I don't get the sense that you're irritated by that or offended.
No, I'm not, because it just seems so distant to me, and I can understand for you that you would have seen it. It's, you know, part of your life, but I'm like, that was so long ago. Like, surely no one's going to be watching that and thinking that that's real anymore, you know?
It's probably because lesbianism is relatively inconspicuous that a lot of people still find it difficult to believe that it really does exist.
Let's go further back in time to the 1930s, when lesbians were practically invisible.
May I have this? Of course.
So filmgoers were shocked when leading lady Marlene Dietrich kissed another woman on screen.
Have you ever seen this before?
I've never seen this.
How do you react?
My first reaction is like, a woman in a suit. I love that. It's the top hat. Yes, please.
That is the first lesbian kiss that I ever saw. Not in 1930, I want to assure you, but I was at university in the 1970s, and they were always showing old films. And I actually saw that when I was a uni student, and that's the woman in the suit, the tuxedo, is Marlene Dietrich, a very, very famous German actress. And that gorgeous film, she was an entertainer in a cabaret, and she kissed that woman, and I knew absolutely that whatever she was, I needed to be that. And it's impossible to convey to someone as young as you how forbidden homosexuality was. And of course it's still forbidden in some parts of Australia as well, depending on what faith you're born into, what culture you're born into. But back then it was a mental illness. It was against the law and it was against God's will. So to see a woman in a tuxedo in an elegant manner kiss another woman gave me hope. Hope.
In the 1970s, queer Australians took to the streets to fight for their rights.
Last Saturday night's turbulent march through King's Cross marked the 9th anniversary of gay liberation's stormy birth. In June 1969, the habitues of a New York gay bar, which was constantly being harassed by police, burnt it down. The riots that followed culminated in a protest march 20,000 strong. Today, the fervour was there, if not the numbers. In fact, for most of the morning, the demonstrators, encircled and barred from entering the court, were actually outnumbered by police. Eggs were thrown and punches exchanged. Whilst demonstrators went through a repertoire of slogans, the court began remanding the 53 people arrested on Saturday night. But before midday, another 7 people were in jail.
Wow.
That's my life you're watching there. I was there that day in that crowd. I recognised people. Will I tell you what it is?
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a thing they call the first Mardi Gras in 1978. And that's the morning in court after the big Mardi Gras where 52 people were arrested and the police were very violent. They beat people up, particularly in Darlinghurst Police Station. And what happened then was there were an endless series of more demonstrations to try and get the charges withdrawn. Courts are meant to be open to the public, and on that day there were many more arrests outside the court. I'm just so glad you don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
You know, because it was scary. It was also very exciting because it was great to just fight. But because remember, it was still against the law to be a male homosexual then at that time. But when you look at that, what does it look like?
It makes me scared. Like, I'm a bit emotional watching it because I can't imagine me being that young in that situation because I know I would have been there. I have been at climate rallies, which is so similar, so I know what the atmosphere is like, but to be one of those young people in front of so many police, like so many people in uniform, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I can see you're crying.
I don't mean to, sorry.
No, I want to say thank you for your compassion.
Scary.
Thank you for your compassion.
But, like, you went through that, and people went through that so that my generation don't have to.
Well, you can't drink it straight from the bottle. Well, we barely started the video. Well, yeah.
So what's changed over the past 30-odd years?
We went on time again.
Thanks to the internet, lesbian visibility has come a long way.
I am blushing.
You just want us to listen on camera. I knew one of us was gonna laugh. I thought we were gonna fall over.
Oh my God.
Tell me, what is this?
Okay, so this is pretty much my introduction into me figuring myself out. This is the first kiss that I would have seen ever, really.
It's a bit different from a peck by my late addiction.
So Rose and Rosie, were the first really feminine lesbian couple I ever saw together. And I was so shocked, like, seeing myself. I was like, I can be gay. Through the representation I had seen on TV, media, when growing up, it had always been like butch lesbians. That's all I saw. So it was never an option for me to be, like, feminine lesbian didn't exist.
Oh, wow, so you couldn't identify that?
No.
I'm sort of partly very sad that, because you're so much younger than me, that could still be the case.
Yeah.
So that opened up, you know, you said before, I think Mardi Gras opened up a big door.
Yeah.
That did the same for you.
That was massive.
These days, shows like teen drama Heartbreak High are groundbreaking in showcasing all sorts of queer identities and relationships.
Do you not want to have sex with anyone or just me? I like kissing you, but when it becomes more, I don't get the urge to go any further. And if I do, it's not enjoyable.
Have you seen this?
No, tell me about this and what you're thinking when you watch.
I relate to this one a lot because when I was figuring myself out, my first label that I tried on was asexual, which is what Cash is, I think, in this.
And what does that mean?
It means that you don't experience any sexual feelings towards anyone at all, and you might not do anything about that at all. And at that time, I was also in love with my best friend, and lesbian was not something that I saw or thought that I could be, so it didn't really cross my mind at all. Like, it wasn't an option for me, but I knew that I was not into guys. So there are those feelings, like I felt like I never wanted to have sex, didn't want to go there, didn't even think about it happening.
And what did it mean to you as someone not sure really what your sexuality was, who was still sorting it all out, that sort of thing was on the telly, was on the TV?
I wish it was on when I was younger. Like, because that show is quite open about it. There's so much visibility within that show. If that was accessible to me as a 14, 15-year-old, I might have come to terms with my sexuality a little bit faster, or the process might have been a bit shorter because it was out in the world, I could be more accepting towards me. So I'm a bit sad that I missed out on that, but I'm really glad that it exists for younger people now. Like, maybe it's not a true reflection of high school because I don't think high school's that bright and open, but if we're putting that out into the world, I think slowly it will become that, and I'm hopeful for that.
Coming out is still a big deal, but now we can come out online to everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm Lauren Elloise and welcome to my channel if you're new, because I know quite a few people who haven't seen me before will probably watch this. So I'm a little nervous about this, I don't know why. I mean, I'm confident in who I am now, but I am a little bit nervous. Hi! I don't know how to say it. I like girls. There you go, I said it. I like girls! I don't think I've said that out loud properly, really.
That is so delightful.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I want to like scoop myself up. Like there's some distance between me and her now. Yeah. I just want to, like, after watching the clip before, I just want to scoop her up and be like,
be gentle with her.
Yeah.
Exactly. And why did you choose to do it that way? What was your purpose? What were you aiming to do?
I would have to dig right back into my brain from then. I knew I always wanted to make YouTube videos, regardless of my sexuality. I loved watching them. I loved talking. I wanted to do that. And this felt like a natural thing to do, is like share that story with people, because people search coming out story all the time. I had watched some and I wanted to share my version of it.
If I could have seen that as a young woman, it would have given me a tremendous sense of comfort and hope. It's a fantastic thing to do. And because I'm an ageing dag, as you know, I have to ask, had you told your parents before you broadcast that?
Yes, I did.
And so what I hear is social media has been integral to your life, obviously, all the way through. And so your emergence as a lesbian young woman is linked to all of this as well?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And do you get responses from all over the world?
I have, yes. And I still get them to this day. And I know we're all smiley happy now, but I get people who message me on Instagram and they're from other countries where it isn't as accepted. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for me to reply to those because I feel for them, but I can't go and change the laws. And that's hard to deal with sometimes.
But I think you would bring great comfort because of your youth and your lovely innocence, if I may say so. It would be a great comfort. But I just want to say thank you for doing those brilliant videos. It's so exciting.
From baby boomers to Gen Z, the way society views lesbians and the ways lesbians celebrate their own sexuality on screen has come a long way. We can't wait to see what the next 50 years brings.
So I'm pretty sure that is my most viewed video. It has 1.something billion views. I don't know how many now.
Muzzle toff! That is fantastic!
Massive. I get comments on it every day, every single day.